Hey, and welcome back to sallyhughesbeauty.com. I have wanted to have this guest in the bathroom for ages. She's truly one of my favourite makeup artists. She is like the queen of glowy, healthy skin. It's just the kind of makeup I love. She's worked with Cameron Diaz and Jennifer Aniston and Gwyneth Paltrow and Vogue and every conceivable magazine you can think of. And now she's going out on her own. Having been a creative director at Lancome and Revlon, she now has her own brand called Westman Atelier. It is Gucci Westman. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Oh,
You've been
Sally.
on my hit list for ages.
Thank you. Well, that's a lucky hit list to be on.
And it's so nice that you're over here to coincide with a brand that I really think is just so beautiful. We're going to talk about it properly shortly. But first of all, we always start by just going back a little bit and finding out how you got started. And I love your story in particular because it was kind of a left field way to get into beauty, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went to makeup school in Paris and I learned to do makeup there. And I thought if I'm not any good, at least it was in French, so I wouldn't have wasted my time. And I remember also one of the teachers one day said that it's predominantly kind of a homosexual gay man's world and good luck to the rest of you. And I thought...
What, so you wouldn't be successful because you were a woman?
Kind of. Yeah. So I thought, oh, that put a little fire in my belly, and it got me thinking, and then I moved to Los Angeles because I wanted to learn how to do movie makeup, which is a complete waste of time. Because they asked me to teach at this school after about 2 weeks. It's called Joe Blasco, and yeah, that wasn't really working. But everything
appeal to you?
No, I mean, it was just ridiculous. The lessons were video instruction.
Oh, okay.
From like the 1960s.
Right.
So it was kind of, but everything happens for a reason, and one thing led to another, and it was definitely a time where I sort of was poor. I lived with 2 girls in a government assist apartment because their previous apartment was ruined in the earthquake. And so we paid $300 a month between the 3 of us. And we always had 10 people staying with us, and nobody ever wanted to buy loo paper or bread. It was always kind of like, no, I bought it last week. You know, it was kind of very much that sort of innocent time of
your own food in the fridge.
Yeah, your own, don't touch my food.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of, and just really being grateful for everything you had. And I met Spike Jonze during this time, and luckily he took me on board because I don't know if I ever would have been paid, because when I did assisting jobs, I just was so grateful to be working and to gain the work experience that I never asked about payment. You know.
So where are we in terms of chronology when you hook up with Spike Jonze professionally and you start? He obviously sees something in you and it's a good time that it kind of fuses together. Where are we?
We are, I was maybe 26, so that was a while ago. It was about 20 years ago. Yeah, and during our meeting, he didn't really say anything. He just was like, cool, okay. Like, as you would imagine.
Were you in awe? Did you already like his work?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super familiar, but we had a mutual friend. His costume designer was a friend of mine. And I don't know, he just, after that meeting, I didn't know if it went well or not, but I just did basically all of his commercials and music videos, and then I ended up being John Malkovich with him. And it was quite the experience. You know, it was again, never about the money. I would do music videos for, you know, sometimes 40 hours, and I would get paid $400. But I really didn't care. I just wanted to have as much under my belt as possible. I think it's, as they say with horse riding, it's the time in the saddle. You know?
There's an element to in being John Malkovich where kind of your job is to make somebody sort of descend and it's somebody less attractive. At which point did your aesthetic become this very healthy, glowy? Because when I think of your makeup, I think of that very outdoorsy, flushed cheeks, no makeup, but very kind of polished glow. When did that become your thing, or was it a slow evolution?
I mean, I think it was a combination of things. Having done a few movies, I also did Buffalo 66. I think I really loved the character, like the narrative that you could be a part of. and you could create this romance of being swept away. And it really kind of resonated with me. And I always incorporated that on fashion shoots, in fact. And when I moved to New York 19 years ago, when I started to work a lot with Grace Coddington, we always had this really great chemistry because it was usually her as, you know, styling, and Julianne Dees did hair and I did makeup, and we would have this really great kind of synergy when it came to creating characters that weren't identical to the real character, but they would be a version of, and it was so much fun and fluid, and it almost felt like one person could say one word and then it just came out of us, and it was always really pretty incredible in my mind.
There are very few makeup artists that do both film and editorial.
Well, I don't anymore. I mean, that was.
But that's an unconventional route.
Absolutely, it is.
To beauty, because most makeup artists, well, pretty much every makeup artist I know does one or the other. They do editorial, or they do red carpet, or they do films.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I did everything.
Yeah, and so do you think that maybe made your style more unique at the time, in that you were kind of treating the model like an actress, like a character in a film?
In a way, possibly, yeah. I think I just wanted it to be believable, and I wanted to sit back and watch something unravel. And I didn't want it to feel ever like a model or anybody was a show pony.
When you walk into a shoot and you see a model, what are you doing to her skin that's maybe a bit different from the norm? Are you layering lots of skincare?
I think what I do is I end up layering, and I infuse a lot of skincare always, and I've always kind of treated makeup and skincare as hybrid products and combined the two, and I really like that, the essence of feeling like the makeup is penetrating and it's not sitting on top of the skin. And even if it's like a dusty looking face, like someone's been in the desert for 10 days or something, I want it to feel that way. So then I'll take different measures to make that happen. And I think having had the movie background a little bit has helped me have an understanding with textures. And you know, when you age clothing, for example, and how it's done, and there's such a science to it to make it feel authentic. Because when you see a movie that has maybe a different type of costume designer that doesn't have the experience that maybe somebody that does movies that we all appreciate for the costumes and the feeling that they're real, you can sense a true difference between, you know, someone who hasn't taken the time and effort for the aging process, and for, you know, like those elements are really play a big part in, I think, observing a movie. And I find if I'm noticing the clothing, there's something that's wrong.
Right, because you should be looking at the person.
I should be just be carried away in like immersed in this story.
And you're very much not one for like all over foundation and a kind of uniform look, are you? You like to see the light and shade and the tones? Yeah,
I like to maintain an element of skin, of the quality. And I myself have actually rosacea, which is really frustrating because I never had to wear foundation before. And now, of course, I'm like, I have to wear foundation. And part of the reason I developed this line, Westman Atelier, was because, I mean, I've always been really interested in ingredients and products and product development, but I wanted something that wasn't going to just simply color. I wanted something that would correct and soothe and heal your skin, because I found, you know, obviously there's a lot of competition. And I have rosacea, so I thought I want something that is going to have serious skincare benefits, that we can include active ingredients at functioning levels as opposed to marketing levels. And that's something that's very unusual in color cosmetics. You see that all the time in skincare, but not in makeup. And our labs are like, oh no, that's crazy, it's gonna be so expensive, you can't do it, that's unheard of. And I was like, yes, absolutely, that's exactly why I'm doing it. And it just goes to show that when you have an intuition and a passion and it's for something you believe in, you have to stick to your guns.
So this range, you say you're at the labs and the labs are saying that's so expensive. This range is expensive in that it's, you know, it's certainly not inexpensive to buy, but it reeks luxury to me. So I think because it's so plant-based and lots of natural derived ingredients, I think we're used to maybe putting nature over here and luxury over here, and certainly performance over here. And so was there this kind of obsession with bringing them all together at whatever cost?
Well, absolutely. When I was kind of during the ideology of the brand, I was doing some research, and I noticed what really stood out to me was that there was a big gap between natural and luxury, and there wasn't a brand that spoke to both. And I thought, why can't I be, you know, the Tom Ford or the Chanel? Why can't I be in that positioning but speak to healthy, safe ingredients that I am okay with on a personal note? And it's not, you know, necessarily a generation, it's more of a mindset. It really is.
I'm glad you said that, because I struggle a little bit with the clean eating and wellness movement, just because I think there's so much misinformation and there are so many kind of inaccuracies, and people play fast and loose with the truth. But what you're saying is it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, it's a whole that's important to you personally and is important to lots of people.
Yeah.
It's quite refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, there's nothing about this that's a trend for me, and I know it might be a trend. It's just definitely not one for me. I grew up with vegetarian parents. We lived in an ashram in California for 2 years.
That's how you got your name, right?
Yeah, that's how I got my name, from a Hindu name that is Guru Charan, and it means he who sits at the guru, not even she. And it was a nickname of that my parents' friend started calling me Gucci, and other people called me Gu and Guru, but he in fact then named his daughter Googie. And I was lucky I got Gucci, I think.
Okay, it's better.
Very much our brand is my philosophy, you know, around our life is, it's kind of 80-20, which is I have to make certain compromises in my brand, because at the moment we just simply do not have the resources that we need to make the perfect product, like all around. I have to make, as you know, miniature sacrifices here and there. I'm trying my hardest, but I'm transparent about everything, you know.
But you must, although this is obviously very authentically, this kind of philosophy is very authentically who you are, how you grew up and so on, you must also have learnt some valuable lessons in more mainstream brands. So you were at Revlon, Lancome, both terrific brands in their own way.
Yeah.
Not brands that you would put in the category that we're talking about. But what did you take from those roles that you took into this brand? Performance? Color saturation?
Oh my God, the performance has got to be, I think I'm in a unique position because the performance has always got to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
You know, and that I will never...
I think that is unique actually in this area.
I'm a makeup artist, and I'm doing this myself. I'm not a money person, I'm not a doctor, but I am a makeup artist. And I love product, I love understanding textures, I love understanding the importance of ingredients, and I have really found diving deeper in and researching, you know, what these names of certain ingredients are, what they mean, because sometimes a synthetic name or a chemical name of an ingredient might sound a little bit off-putting and offensive, but in fact it is oftentimes a more responsible choice, and it's just about understanding. I'm really pushing our chemists that we work with to dig deeper, to find alternative ingredients that are safer, that are better, that are the best, and I won't stop. And they all, you know, oftentimes they say no. For example, when we did our Vital Skin Foundation, and they said we absolutely have to include silicones, otherwise we will never achieve this performance that you want. So it's all about understanding, and also I don't like to put something on my skin and feel confident when I leave, and then an hour later it's gone.
Yes.
So I need it to trust. I need women to be able to trust my brand, you know? Being stubborn has come in pretty handy in this instance.
Well, stubbornly stay there because let's have a look at product. Should we have a look at what
Yes.
you've done?
Please,
Okay,
let's do it.
let's move around. So you brought. So this is. It has to be said. This is like your travel kit, right?
So this is
the stuff you're going around with.
Yeah, so this is my...
So you're based in Manhattan.
I'm
normally?
based in Manhattan. We were just at a wedding in the south of France. And so some of these things are a little bit bashed up because one of my eyeliners, the lid fell off in my makeup bag. And as you and I have in common, we don't like dirty makeup
I
bags.
hate dirty makeup
It's
bags.
so frustrating.
You go here so that you can...
Okay.
I see. I hate dirty makeup bags. My worst is if I'm traveling and I travel with a pencil sharpener. It's always a disaster.
See, that's why I never have a pencil sharpener. But look, I also have a pencil that cuts my lip every time I try to put it on. I'm like, ugh.
So this is your travel kit. So so you've just been to a wedding, you're working, so these are your kind of must-haves.
Yeah, these are my must-haves. I have my, obviously, I have some more bits in here. A little jewelry in my daughter's jewelry box.
Sweet. How many kids do you have?
I have 3, and 2 are with us.
Oh.
The girls are here. See, I have a lot of samples that I get
Yeah.
from the labs to try out new formulas.
And are you a brand head who's constantly sending stuff back? He's like, this isn't good enough. I need better.
Oh, are you kidding? Of course.
Constantly.
See, I have a lot of samples, which is a little bit boring, but I also...
But I often find, so I always travel with lots of samples because I find when I'm away the perfect time to catch up on testing things.
Yeah, but these are true lab samples that are being made for me.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of samples. But I have, this is my mascara. That's a super exciting one.
So this doesn't exist yet in retail form?
No, it doesn't exist. It'll probably be in the UK in September.
Is mascara your thing? Are you somebody who, if you could only pick up one thing, it will be that, or would it be something else?
For me, actually, foundation, because of my rosacea, is my one thing. But I created this line because of my, awareness in the industry and in, I guess, the world. People think of me for this beautiful skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, it used to actually annoy me when I used to do interviews and they used to say, oh, you're known for this beautiful skin. And I used to be like, oh, yeah,
I can do an eye, people.
I can do a freaking eye.
Yeah.
So it used to, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna hone in on that and really own that. And I want to be able to extend this type of skincare, this complexion philosophy and system to other women so they can create this Jennifer Aniston kind of skin on their own.
Is her skin amazing in the flesh? She looks like she's been dipped in caramel.
Yeah, she does look like that, and I always just enhance everything.
Yeah.
But she likes rosy cheeks. She likes to be warm. She likes
healthy looking.
Yeah, and that's my idea of beauty. Who doesn't want to look like that? I mean, you have the most beautiful eyes, and I see that your skin is more kind of natural and glowing, and you emphasize like your natural coloring, your lips and your eye, like you do everything with natural, and that's my kind of girl.
So this brand is quite stick-based, right? Which I love. It's lots of...
it's quick.
Yeah. See, I like creams. Creams are my thing more than powders. And more as I get older, I want more and more creams. Yeah. Because I like that glow and that sheen.
And I like that it's easy. I wanted this brand to make women's lives easier and not more complicated. I didn't want anyone to spend hours doing anything. So I always use 2 shades because one shade I kind of use more as a concealer, and they come in these.
Nice.
Isn't it nice? And they come in these little socks to keep them warm.
It's such a beautiful package.
And I just find it
melty, gorgeous.
And I just want it to be easy, so I just use
That's
2
my
shades.
shade, I think, too.
Yeah. See.
I love this texture. It's really melty.
And there's no silicones.
Yeah, so my problem with silicone, and I know you're coming at it from a slightly different perspective because you're very interested in taking out synthetics and so on. My issue with silicone in foundation is that it peels and
they
peels.
knock each other
and
over.
I like things to melt. I like to be able to rub things in and for them to melt in, and that's difficult in a silicone product. So the foundation comes in a stick. What else comes in a stick?
So then we have our
I keep knocking them over.
I know,
I can't leave them alone. They're so tactile. I'm like,
they like
leave
to
them
knock
now,
you-
Sally. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we were more influenced by fragrance.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of packaging.
Yeah, so this is like a beautiful travel atomizer or something, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I wanted it to feel more like a fragrance, which is more timeless. You know, I just always had this.
Right, this
That's
is why I love this contour stick, because it has a grey cast,
Yeah,
as
it's like
shadow does.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not a brown or
That's
an
so
orange.
cool that you see that. It's like a purple.
It's like a mouse
mauve-y.
colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really, you'd be surprised it works on so many people.
I feel like you're somebody who probably doesn't, oh, that's gorgeous, who probably doesn't kind of dig Instagram makeup so much.
No,
Not really your
I find it,
jam?
it's so fascinating to me, and it'll get me all riled up because I find it's such a platform for influence, you know, for especially younger girls.
Mm-hmm.
And they're seeing like all of these people on YouTube and on Instagram and all these things that are making it seem as though you need to alter yourself in so many different ways to gain affirmation, not only with surgical enhancement, with injections, with filters, with masses of makeup.
Skinny nose, pointy cheekbones.
It's almost like
Yeah.
I find, you know, the sadness for me also here is not only is that just not inspiring for young girls, but it also isn't incredibly creative to me. That's what I find, like you have this opportunity to be incredibly creative because you have this platform and you have this audience. So what, I don't understand the Barbie look. Like why is that?
So this is a cream blush.
Yeah, so
Gorgeous.
So all of the products have active ingredients that are at functioning levels. So the foundation has ingredients that are working to calm and soothe your skin for redness and inflammation, and also protect you against pollution and lock in long-term moisture, which is all the things I want in a foundation.
I don't know if you can pick this up on camera, but the gleam on these is so beautiful.
And so I really didn't want to launch like 500 products. I kind of wanted it to be more edited and make it easier for women and make it very clear that this is what you need for, you know, beginning, you know, your canvas, and this is how you prepare yourself. And, you know, you can always go out in the world with just beautiful skin, which is what I like to do often. And then
If I could do nothing else, I would have like a concealer or a tinted moisturizer or something, because that's the biggest piece of real estate on your face, right? So that's the thing. If I don't have time to do everything else, I'm just going to do that.
And you want to look a little bit more put together.
And
so
then
that's
I'm going to do a cheek.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I do. And then the older I get, the more I feel that my eyebrows, I need my eyebrows.
Okay.
Ugh. So annoying. When I was younger, I plucked them, and my mom always told me, "Don't do that. They disappear. Don't touch them."
I mean, mine were horrific. They were so thin.
You have great eyebrows.
Thank you. They were so thin, and amazingly they grew back, because in the 90s I wanted those supermodel brows that were incredibly thin, arched, and the dark Max Spice lip liner and the pale lipstick and the, you know, all the stuff.
Yeah. See what we are influenced by everything around us.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
So you have stacks of brushes, and in fact, your brand makes brushes, and they're really beautiful, and I was playing with them earlier, which is interesting to me because of lots of this makeup seems so kind of sensorial and finger application, but actually you're a big advocate of brushes in your technique.
I find the application is much more refined. And when I take the time and use my brushes, I look much more put together, for sure. I mean, if I'm really in a rush and I'm just like, you know, dotting kind of like the general redness, which is mostly focused in the middle of my face, I'll use my fingers. But then if I'm going out and I need to take more time and be more kind of finished, using a brush, big difference.
It's the difference between kind of cute and luxury, I think, when you take the time.
Exactly. Good. That's a really good analogy. And I also feel like at this age I have pigmentation, which is also a really fun thing
Oh, I do too.
to deal with, and I wanted to do some laser before I left, and just the downtime is so annoying. So then it really helps with the brush.
I had the most amazing IPL on my pigmentation in New York with Dr. Dennis Gross. It was so good, and there was no downtime.
Really?
Yes. So it gets darker a bit, which you can cover with makeup, and then it falls away, but there's
Like
no
a scab.
downtime. Not even, just like a little bit drier, and it would go darker as the pigment came to the surface.
One
and then
session?
It came away. One session, it was magic. I
What?
loved it. He has a special, he
IPL?
does special IPL for pigmentation. Strongly recommend. I had it just before my wedding because I have melasma and it got rid of loads of it. Really good. And the only thing I would say is you can't really do TV or something, but you could definitely hang out with friends and work, and
Oh my gosh.
it's not downtime, no way.
I'm so doing that.
Yeah, do it, it's good.
Yeah, so the brushes are, and these are, you know, I've had for a year now.
They're
in my
gorgeous.
bag.
So these are made in Japan, like all the best brushes are. And these are from your brand too.
They're from my brand also. We are launching some more brushes with some additional products that are coming down the line, but the mascara is going to be the next launch. This is a sample.
See, I love lab samples.
Yeah, I have lots. So the mascara is 97% natural, and I found that every natural mascara that I tried, I just couldn't get the blackness, I couldn't get the sheen, I couldn't get the length and the volume.
Nothing
ever.
worse than a half black mascara.
I feel like you almost look worse. It almost looks like you have flour on your eyelashes and you look a little bit like tired or like something anemic or something.
Yeah.
So nothing worse than a gray mascara for me, right?
Yeah.
So when it's dry and crumbly, this is it took me 3 years, and I'm so proud.
What did you want? You wanted?
I wanted it to be jet black.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be shiny. I wanted it to give me volume. I didn't want...
See, I like a big fat brush like that. I don't want the rubber ones, and I don't want the skinny ones. I want it to look like a toilet brush.
Yeah, me too. Because it's so much quicker. I can do one coat, and my lashes are really
who are
substantial.
these people who have time to do like 3 coats of mascara?
I don't know. And then it also gets really like sort of more clumpy and more...
Yeah.
I don't love like... I like just pretty lashes.
Yeah.
I don't want...
Like a flutter.
Yeah. But the wand is actually blue also.
So you're adding bits of colour from some other brands. So I see you have like a flash of Chanel colour in there.
Yeah, I like Chanel. I have, usually I use Chanel eyeshadow. Usually I have a compact, I mean this is a sample, but yeah.
I bet you look good in this. Do you wear bold colour sometimes?
Sometimes. I did actually, we went to a wedding in Nice over the weekend and I wore this.
Epitome.
This one.
Oh, I love that. See, that's my kind of red. I love orange red.
Yeah. So I wore this one. It's also a sample.
So you're bringing colour. You're bringing lip colour.
Maybe.
She won't say. I think she's bringing lip colour.
Well, I never feel like I want to be a battleship of product. You know, I always want to be thoughtful.
I think that's totally right.
And what do you
like
need?
brands who don't do too much.
I find, you know, almost as if when you go to I always think of Las Vegas, because if you go to a buffet and it's all you can eat for $20 or something, it makes me anxious and it makes me I can't choose. So then I just go for the one thing and then I'm like, oh, it was too overwhelming.
There's too much stuff in the world.
Makes you unhappy.
And the world is noisy, right? I like a curated.
Me too. I like to know what I'm going to get. And I almost consider this as a wardrobe for your makeup. You know what the performance is. You know that you can trust. You know the ingredients are as clean and as safe, as beautiful as they can be. And I just like myself knowing that.
So you were telling me earlier that you feel panicky if you don't have your brow brush.
Yeah.
It's like a chef with knives, isn't it? Isn't this one?
Yeah.
So, okay, so
I
this is the boy one.
I need my eyebrows because...
I mean, that's a good brush.
That's a good brush. And the one thing that was annoying is that the cap is... That one I would always put on that side, and the caps aren't the same size, so the cap for this doesn't go on here, so then I just take it off because I kept doing the wrong thing.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
And you say you
And I
have
like my the Nars pencil. See how much
the
I like
velvet
it?
lip pencil.
In Bahama.
See, Nars is a good example of a brand that doesn't do too much.
Yeah.
Like I go in and I get it. It's calm.
I like it to feel calm and somewhat joyful. It should be an enhancement, I think, to your day as opposed to like, woo! And you know, the feedback that we've had from women has been so phenomenal. It's really exceeded my expectations in terms of, you know, making women feel confident and especially women with any type of issues with their skin. They say that they have a new license for life. You know, it's so sweet, and it's really what I intended to do. I really wanted something that was going to make, you know, the health of your skin better.
So you have an issue with your skin. You've mentioned a couple of times that you have rosacea. I'm seeing this more and more and more and more from women. Mm-hmm. So how are you looking after your skin?
So I like Mother Dirt a lot because I feel like
I can see why Mother Dirt would work for you, mm-hmm. because the whole vibe is not taking away all bacteria, because bacteria is good for your skin, and it's that very gentle cleanse, mm-hmm. not too harsh.
Right, and I play around, I have to say, because I'm constantly, you know, seeking advice around rosacea, and I use a brand called Environ.
Yes, Environ's great.
And I use, but I kind of fluctuate a little bit. I also use a Derma Roller that's pretty powerful that I got at actually a makeup show at the Javits Center, so it's the professional grade. Cost $1,500.
Yeah.
Rip off.
And how often do you do it?
I do it frequently because I do believe that kind of a little bit of trauma to the skin helps ingredients to penetrate. So then I use rosehip oil. Mm-hmm. And I really am big into devices. I like a Japanese device called Rantanya. Mm-hmm. And
What's that?
It's LED and microcurrent, but it's really powerful. It's like...
And what are you finding that's doing for you? Kind of firming, glow?
It's all of those things, but it really does calm the redness and inflammation. In combination with the skincare I use, I like Agostina Spader a lot. And I like SK2, the facial treatment.
Because you've worked with Kate Blanchett, haven't you? She loves SK2. She uses it.
She loves SK2.
She's used it forever.
And I like these, actually, wipes.
Apple cider vinegar, resurfacing peel pads. So you are a peeler.
Yeah, I like it to feel active. I like knowing that something's happening, and I like when it hurts a little, to be honest.
Do you feel like it's doing something?
Yeah, I like it, and that's why I wanted all of our products that everything is at efficacy. And
so these are Volition. I've never seen Volition before. Where do you get this?
I got them online. They're kind of, you know how the Biologique Recherche P50, that's how that feels.
I love P50. Okay, well, I'm going to get some.
I can't have that anymore. The ingredients don't work for me.
Oh, I love P50.
Yeah.
And then what do you have here? You have Egyptian Magic.
Yeah, Egyptian Magic is so wonderful for our children. We use it. I use it on myself. I use, on them all year round. If they ever have any cuts,
like grazes,
sunburn. Well, they never get sunburn, but
I love. Again, it's just such a lovely dewy glossy.
And it's so clean. There's only 6 ingredients.
Yeah, it's a very simple recipe, isn't it? I suppose Tata Harper kind of. It's a very similar philosophy to yours, isn't it? It's performance and plant-based and small batch and very luxury.
Yeah.
So what are you using from there? The purifying cleanser?
I like the cleanser because I like a little exfoliation, during all the time. I'm constantly exfoliating.
Same.
I think that really makes a difference in the quality of your skin. And I like the oil that I more use it on my body. My face is a little sensitive, but my body, I kind of like the oil, and I mix it usually with the cream, and I like Grown Alchemist a lot too. And
what about Dr. Hauschka? That's another very
I like how much I like Dr. Hauschka.
Rose Day Cream, it's such an icon, Rose Day Cream. It really is. It's been around forever, it feels like.
I know, but it always makes me, like, whenever I feel really dry and I've been trying something else for a while, I feel like, oh, my skin is parched. And then I go back to Dr. Hauschka. And I like Dr. Devkin's, the Platinum Hyaluronic Serum that I use underneath. this is not, because we're traveling, this is
Yeah.
not my full arsenal. You
Yeah.
have to see at home, Sally, you have to come to my apartment next time, and then you're going to be overwhelmed.
Well, we do come to New York and do bathrooms quite often, so
you'd be
we'll
overwhelmed.
definitely do
It
that.
might make you unhappy.
Oh, well, you haven't seen my house.
Oh, the amount of product I have. Yeah, I'm
Same.
sure you might have more.
Yeah, tons and tons and
In
tons
fact,
of product.
we have like where we go on the weekends, our country house. One of the bedrooms has become a storage place for my makeup, which is terrible.
I know what that looks like.
Oh, it's not good. I'm not proud, but I actually do donate a lot of products to Sloan Kettering, which every year, which I feel much better about.
Oh, well, I have my own charity
You do?
Mhm.
Of course you do.
called Beauty Banks. So
No
people give
way.
us their unused toiletries and beauty products, and we distribute them to people living in serious poverty.
Oh my God, you're so evolved. See? That's what I need. That's a great idea.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's very gratifying.
Mm-hmm.
And so because your range has just hit Net-a-Porter exclusively in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I guess, shopping for makeup online can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. And so if somebody's philosophy chimes with yours and they're interested in getting involved with the brand, which one product would you say that's your banker? That's the one that you're never going to want to be without?
Well, I've kind of like really, really thought of it as a system, you know, so it's hard to pick one because I feel like
I'm going to make you pick your favourite child.
They all need buddies though, because otherwise they're lonely and they don't fully enhance each other. I mean, I think the foundation, in my mind, I wouldn't wear something that didn't do as much for me anymore as my foundation does, because I know that there's some serious skincare benefits and I just want my bang for my buck. I don't like silicones. I have no silicones, but I have the performance. My skin looks luminous, it looks radiant, but I have a nice finish, and the coverage is perfect for me.
Which is what, like a light to medium or a medium?
I would say it's medium, and it's buildable if you want, but I just don't. I find like heavy coverage isn't my real.
Well, you're a good advertisement for it. It's perfectly glowy.
Ugh.
It is.
Well, a little Anastasia too.
And it feels absolutely beautiful. Gucci Westman, thank you so much for showing us around your kit. It's been a joy, and I'm so glad we finally ticked you off the list. Well, let's do one in New York next time and see your full bathroom, and then you'll have two in the bag too.
Sweet. Thank you, Sally, so much for having me.
Gucci Westman, thank you so much
living
for
legend
appearing
also
on In the Bathroom. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with more In the Bathroom. Bye.
Bye, thanks.